we now know how to multiply polynomials, and it's time to talk about what are called special products. Special products are formulas, and on your screen you see 3 of them. Let's try this again. On your screen, I should say, you see 3 of them. They are a plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. The a minus b squared equals a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And finally, multiplying a plus b by a minus b gives us a squared minus b squared. All these 3 equations are formulas that you should memorize. The reason why you should memorize is similar to the reason why we memorize the multiplication table. Memorizing the multiplication table lets us do a lot of the common multiplication problems quickly without having to do things the long way. You can certainly multiply 7 by 6 by adding 7 to itself 6 times, but it's much better if you just know that it's 42. The same thing here. You could figure out, for example, that a plus b squared, since it's the same thing as saying a plus b times a plus b, you could say a times a is a squared, a times b is ab, b times a is another ab, b times b is b squared. I can combine the AB and AB into 2AB, and so I get my answer. You could go through all that trouble, but it's much better for you to just know that this is the answer to that problem, and then you can use this formula anytime that you have to square something where it says, you know, something plus something squared. You should just say, oh, I already know what the answer is. This happens often enough in algebra that it's worth your while to memorize it. Since I already kind of explained why the first formula is the way it is, I might as well go through the other 2. If we think of a minus b squared, well, it's kind of the same deal, right? What we mean is a minus b multiplying another a minus b, where a times a is a squared, a times negative b is minus ab, negative b times a, that's another minus ab, and negative b times negative b is plus b squared. And the minus AB becomes minus 2AB. And so that's how you can check that the second formula is true. Notice the only difference between the first formula and the second formula is if it's a minus b, then the middle term is negative. Otherwise, it's the exact same expression, because multiplying a positive by a positive is positive, and the negative by a negative is also positive. So the a squared and the b squared stay positive. Finally, the last one, the a plus b times a minus b. This is another common multiplication that occurs. Well, a times a is a squared. A times negative b is minus ab. Positive b times positive a is positive ab, and b times negative b is minus b squared. And you see that ab and negative ab cancel each other out, and so our final answer is just a squared minus b squared. This is sometimes called the difference of squares formula, precisely because the answer ends up being something squared minus something squared. So as you can see, for all 3, you can do the multiplication the long way that we learned about in the previous videos, but it's much faster process if you just know the answers to these 3 off the top of your head. So what I would like for you to do now is to look at these three formulas, study them until you feel that you have memorized them. Make sure that a plus b squared, it's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and so on. Because in the next video, we are going to be using these formulas. If you do not have them memorized, you can't make proper use of them. So memorize these formulas, and I'll see you at the next video.